Once somebody asked Gurudev, does knowledge change with time? He said, no, knowledge is the same, but your perception and understanding of knowledge changes with time. You remember when you first stepped on the path, what was told to you, it created different meaning and impression on you. The same thing 5 years down the line, it means something else. The same thing now, it means something else, means something more than what it meant 10, 15 years ago. Isn't it? It's the same knowledge. You know this every time you listen to the same talk, something new you understand. Every time you come and see the Gurudev's videos in the silence program, a new thing opens up. Isn't it? So, knowledge does not change, but your grasping of that knowledge, your understanding of that knowledge changes. So, this has been a real skill of the enlightened to make sure they speak in a language which you can relate to. If you look around the world, how many enlightened people have actually built organizations? Only a handful, especially successfully, isn't it? Does that mean there are only a handful of enlightened people in the world? No. There are many, many more. But most of them do not want to go through this trouble of catering to everybody. You know, most of them are like Hastamalaka, one of the Shishya of Shankaracharya, who didn't even bother to speak to anybody because he felt they will anyway not understand. They are looking from the level of body and mind as reality. I am looking from the level of self as reality. Whatever we see are not the same. Whatever we say will never be understood correctly. So, what is the point? Most enlightened people are like this. They just don't bother to engage with the world because they think it is too much of hassle for nothing. So they say their karma, let them do what they have to do. But there are a handful of really compassionate souls like Gurudev, like many other enlightened people who have actually built up organizations like Buddha, who couldn't see the pain and suffering of people, who just said, well, if I could help, why not? And that's where we all come into the picture. Otherwise, we would all have missed out on many things. Do you see this? But the same people speak of the truth in a completely undiluted way once in a while as well. You may or may not understand it, but they will make sure they speak. If you look at the Gita, Arjuna comes and asks Krishna that this is a problem. I am in big mess now. Help me out of this mess. What is the first thing Krishna says? Are you joking? Where are you in a mess? There is no mess there. It's all your imagination. I can't help you sort your imagination. You have to wake up from your dream and see that there is no mess in the first place. There is no problem in the first place. The problem is created by your own mind and you are thinking it as a problem. That is the problem. If there is a problem, then it is your mind which you have got no control about, which you have got no awareness about how it functions. Arjuna doesn't get it. It's like you saying, somebody, I've lost some money or I've lost somebody very close to me, I'm really stressed. You say, well, they are not dead anyway. They can't die. How would you feel? You feel anger, you feel confusion. What is this person is belittling my tragedy? But Krishna did say that. When Arjuna didn't get that, he came one step down and then another step, till he came to the level of Arjuna, where Arjuna was saying, I am now going to use my weapons. With that weapons, I am going to kill that person, and that is going to bother. So he is talking about the action that is happening from him, which will impact somebody else, and he thinks he is not going to be able to bear the consequences of that. So Krishna has to start from that point. Okay, this is what you are worried about, your action. Then he says, okay, let's start from this point. Let's make sure your actions are of a better quality. Let's drop all that which is not in your control, which is not your reality. This is your reality and this is in your control. Let's start from here. So he starts from action. Then he says, Arjuna, there are 3 types of action. The commonest and the most inferior type of action is what most people do. They engage in an action wanting to produce a result or knowing that this will be the result. A result-oriented action, this action is called karma, and this action generates impressions, and these impressions generate more actions, and then you get stuck in this cause and effect of web of karma. The second type of action is where the results are secondary, but the action itself, execution of the action itself is primary. You are putting all your energies on the action. In karma, your focus is so much on the result, you are not even able to give 100% to your action. The moment the result appears to change, your interest in the action will also change. But yajna is where the results are secondary. Not that the results don't matter. That's why in a yajna you make a sankalpa in the beginning. I want this result. It would be good if the result happens. But, oh God, let this happen or let something better than this happen. I don't know what is best, but this is my intention. You make an intention and then you start giving your 100% on your action. And there is a third type of action, the most superior of action, which is you see that the action is happening from the mind through the body. The body is executing, the mind is ordering it, but the self which is beyond the mind is just witnessing it. It is not getting involved in the action at all. And because the self is there as a witness, the awareness is there in the mind. So the mind does not act randomly. Mind is acting with awareness. So they are responsive, intuitive, spontaneous actions that are happening. And this is akarma. And he says, Arjuna, you have to move from karma where you are right now to akarma. In akarma, there is peace during action, before action, and after action. Whereas in karma, there is restlessness and agitation during all 3 phases of action. So this is in your control. You have to do this. The same thing, then 3 aspects also become 3 paths of yoga. Acting rightly is karma yoga. Leaving the results to the divine and just focusing on the action is bhakti yoga. And then acting as if you are not acting, dropping all the doership, knowing that actually the action is happening through you and you are not acting, is gnana yoga. The same thing he tells in such delicate, easy way so that people could relate to it and say, okay, this is what I could do. What should I do to make my life better? This is the common question. Meditate. Okay, how should I meditate? What should I do in meditation? People are so keen on doing. Just be. And to understand what is just be, you have to start by improving your doing properly. And that is yoga. This path of moving through from doing to being is yoga. And then when you're a little bit more stabilized in doing, then it comes to look at now, once your doing is better, then your energy levels are higher. Now you can grasp the truth of existence. And when you grasp the truth of existence, then it becomes easy for you to understand what I'm trying to say. Now we are in the same page. Now we are looking in the same direction. Unfortunately, most people who tell themselves are spiritual, who come on the spiritual path, they get stuck. Why? Because they don't come with an open mind. They come with a conditioned mind, hold on to that condition. Say for example, you come from a very traditional family where you pray morning and evening, or you do 5 times prayer like in Riyadh. Now you do all these pujas, you do all these vratas, you chant all these mantras. Somebody says they are all useless, just drop it. They're absolutely useless. Yoga Vasishta says, isn't it? Your prayers, your rituals, your pilgrimages are all good for nothing. Don't waste your time on that. Now you have two options. One option, why did Vasishta say something like this? In a public forum, this is for everybody to see. What is the reason behind it? And you can go deeper into that to find out, to reflect upon it. Or you can say, I really don't get it. I don't know whether he knows what he's saying, or maybe I am not at his level. So what do? Let me leave Vasishta, let me hold on to Krishna. Instead of going deeper into where you were challenged, you decide to leave that and go where it is easier for you. Then what progress have you made? You have not made any progress. It requires great courage to come out of your comfort zone. Step, okay, I won't do it. Let me see what happens. I was not a very ritualistic person at all. Then I was so enamored with Rudra Puja because I had one great experience of Samadhi in one of the Rudra Pujas. So I just wanted to recreate that. So I spent nearly 8 years finding somebody to learning the shlokas on my own, practicing. Once I was good with the chanting, then getting to somebody to find out the methodology, and then getting deeper into what each method means, what each step means, what are the mandatory steps, what are the optional steps. All this I did. And for 5-6 years I did it regularly. For about 5-6 years, almost every Monday I did, without much fail. But then once I got this, that this is, at the end of it, is a ritual. Yes, it is an energetic ritual, produce a particular field of energy, and I enjoy that field. I go deeper into Samadhi. But there were also days where I was forcing myself. Today is Monday, I have to do Rudra Puja. This is Shravana, every day I have to do it. Maybe I was not fully into it, but I was doing it. And more worryingly, it came to a stage where I was started being identified with that. People are associating me with Rudra Puja, and people are wanting more and more. And then I said, somewhere I think I'm going off track. Somewhere this is not what I wanted to achieve through this. It was a very personal thing. Now it's becoming a public thing. What do I do? Then I said, let me drop it. Let me just drop it for a few months and see what happens. It was difficult initially. First 1-2 months it was difficult. I also felt I may lose all that I worked hard for 8 years. I may lose the touch of the whole process. I said, let it be. Now it's been almost 6-8 months. I don't do the puja regularly. Once in a while, when there is a strong urge for me, I do it. But I don't think anything has gone wrong in life. You know what I'm saying? It needs courage to break that pattern, be open to, okay, life is now taking me through a different route. Let me explore that. Again and again, I come across people who come along for a little while, and then there's one thing happens where somewhere their belief is questioned. Their conditioning is being challenged. And then they turn away. They turn back and they go. They don't jump or dive deep into that. They actually go in search for a path where their beliefs are supported. Do you see? No matter how much I may say here, meditation is the topmost, that is where you have to give your importance to. If you are very ritualistic in your action, you will always give meditation second, third, or fourth priority. Adi Shankara tells in the Gita, isn't it, in the Bhaja Govindam, Atma Gnana Vihina Moda Te Pachante Narakani Goda. Says, without the knowledge of the self, without being established in the self or established in the truth of existence, No matter what you do, you will continue to suffer. The corollary is also true. With knowledge of the self, whatever you do, you will enjoy, you will excel, you will be above suffering. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati 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 eva. Yogarato va bhogarato va sangarato va sangavihinaha. Yasya brahmani ramate chittam nandati 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 eva. See, it does not matter whether he is in between people or he is in solitude, whether he is being a yogi, living with discipline, or being a bhogi, being very indulgent in the world, it does not matter. Once you start seeing the same divinity everywhere, once you are able to be reposing in the self, what you do does not matter. Remember this. What you do is never that relevant. From where you are doing that action is always relevant. The same action, three people may be doing, one person may be doing as yajna, one person as karma, one person as akarma. It is possible, very much possible. You can see only the action, but you cannot see from where the person is doing that action. Are you getting what I am saying? So this is extremely important. What? To be open to life. To be able to at least theoretically understand the highest possibility for your existence. Maybe you are not there yet, but at least when the wise and the enlightened speak about it, to trust in it. Maybe for me this body and mind is the reality now, but I want to be in a state when that is my reality, when self is my reality. And I'll be able to sit on the lap of myself and see what's happening in the body and the mind. Maybe it will happen, but I will not discount it, saying that maybe that is not right, that is not for me. So, no, that is where I want to be. So, that is my aim, that is where I would like to be. But I will start from here slowly, slowly. Only when you go with this attitude, you will move higher. And how do we do again? You have to start by being in the right company. Kate kanta dhanagata chinta vatula kim tava nasti niyanta trijagati sajjana sangati reka bhavati bhavarnava tarane loka. Why are you putting all your energy between wife, children, money? No matter what you do in that aspect, what you are going to get out of them is already decided by something called niyati. There is a power which has decided how much you have to get from whom. So don't worry too much about, do what you have to do and then relax, let go. But what should you do? Trijagati sajjana sangati reka bhavati bhavarnava tarane anoka. The only thing that will help you to cross over this ocean of samsara is the company of the wise. Seek the company of the wise. Rather than seeking the company of your husband or wife or your wealth, seek the company of the wise. Because that will only come through your self-effort. How much you are going to earn, what you are going to enjoy, how long you are going to live, all this is predetermined. Patanjali says, Jati, Bhoga, Ayu. These are all set already. What is not set is whether you are going to get enlightened or not, whether you will be awakened or not in life. Whether you will die just as a pleasure-seeking, restless human being, or you will die, or you will leave this body being a Buddha. That only you have to do. That starts with satsanga. Trijagati sajjana sangati reka bhavati bhavarnava tarane nauka. So first go towards satsanga. What happens with satsanga? Satsangatve nisangatvam nisangatve nirmohatvam nirmohatve nischalatatvam nischalatatve jivan mukti. Satsangatve nisangatvam. Nisanga is being untouched with everything. Being happy to be on your own is Nissanga. Satsanga will take you Nissanga. Because in Satsanga you close your eyes and enjoy. Whether you sing bhajans, you meditate, you discuss knowledge, you are more with that self. And you don't feel the necessity to want any other company. You are happy with your own company. That is Nissanga. Nissangatve nirmohatvam. When you are happy with your own company, you don't feel any craving to be attached to somebody else. It is nirmohatva. Nirmohatva brings nischala tattva, brings steadiness in you. And steadiness brings samadhi, and in that samadhi you experience freedom. So this is very important. And then inquire. What is inquiry? Kastvam koham kutayataha kame janani kome tataha iti paribhavaya sarvamasaram vishvam tyaktva swapna vicharam. And constantly being in the company of the wise, you will slowly be able to realize what they mean when they say this world is dreamlike. It is all wishy-washy. There is nothing concrete there. You don't have to build a house on it. It's like building a house on a raft. Don't worry about it. Don't put your foot firmly there. Just stand lightly in the world, but be established in the self. And then he gives the methodology for that as well. See what? Pranayamam pratyaharam nitya nitya viveka vicharam jhapya sameta samadhi vidanam kuru avadhanam mahavadhanam. Just get engaged in pranayama, in pratyahara, in dhyana, dharana, samadhi. Through samadhi only will experience freedom. And how is this process hastened? Surrender to your master. Guru charanam bhuja nirbhara bhaktaha samsara dachirad bhavamuktaha sendriya manasa niyamadeham drakshasi nicha hridayastam devam Bhaja Govindam. Hold on to the master. All you have to do is have a discipline in your life, have a say over your body and your senses and your mind, learn how to manage your mind, and then surrender to the wise, to the enlightened, and with him you cross this ocean of samsara and then see the divinity in your own heart. The divine whom you are seeking out, if you want to see in your own heart, then it's very essential to have the guidance and the company of the wise. So many aspects of life, in fact every aspect of life he has looked into and explained and introduced us to in these shlokas. So it's important to get through these shlokas again and again. Every step there is a pointer. Yeah? Muda jahi danagama trishna kuru sadbuddhim manasi vitrishnam yallabase nija karmopatam vittam tena vinodaya chittam. What is due to you will come to you, and be happy with what you have rather than craving for something which is not there in your life. And just let go of this craving. Why? Because life is so transitory, you will not be able to enjoy anything. And all these people whom you call me, mine, they are only there for you as long as you are within your senses, you are capable, you are able to do well. Once you are weak, tired, and especially when you are gone, few days, maximum few months, and it is gone. Once in a year they will remember you, that's all. And with remembering you, they will eat nice food. So wake up, do something important, do something that is relevant. Don't just turn your face away from something just because it is not in your comfort zone. Question everything you do. Do everything consciously. It is not relevant what you do, but from where you do is more relevant. So live in awareness, live consciously, and engage with the wise. Otherwise, what happens? Otherwise, you keep repeating the same mundane, repetitive pattern of life. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare shayanam, iha samsare bahudustare, iha samsare बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहे मुरारे भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम गोविंदम भज मूढ़मते. So wake up, inquire, reflect on your life, be the company of the wise, engage in knowledge, and then see how you rise in life. Okay? Jai Guru. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani जठरे शयनम, पुनरपि जननी जठरे शयनम. इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे, इह संसारे बहुदुस्तारे कृपया पारे पाहे मुरारे, कृपया पारे पाहे मुरारे भज गोविंदम भज गोविंदम.